Yeah, I got back early, so I was going to try to put the other big mum bush in. I want to put it right to the right. I'm going to have to take out some things and do a little work to get it in, and I was all excited because I can't do nothing on this hill when it rains because it's slick and it's starting to rain. But I also need some rain because without the rain you can't dig into this clay soil here. So I was excited because I was like, well, I can get up there because it hadn't rained since probably early this morning. And then it started raining right when I got home. A little bit of a bummer. I think there's like a 76% chance that it's going to rain for the next hour. So I need to kind of get the other one in here. The other one's kind of going to need a little work too. So, see what the other one looks like. Big Poppy. Hanging tough. Had to tether Big Poppy yesterday because he was hanging clear to the left. The wind took him, and some of those sunflowers were weighing him down, so I had to cut off a bunch of sunflowers, take some weight off yesterday. Definitely going to keep some of these seeds for next year. That's my mom's stuff. I hid the little angel back there because it was raining and tried to get a little protection so it didn't blow. The wind was horrible last night. But got another mum. I figured, everyone had a mum except my dad, so I decided to get him one. Because, we got the one, my sister's right there. And this is mine. And gonna need to take that one that I'm holding up with a mulberry tree bush so it didn't fall out. And I gotta put it over here. And then, yeah, that's my brother. It's got a lot of flowers on the side, but some Homer Simpson stuff sticking out on the top there. And mine will go right there. Me and my brother, pretty tight. His birthday's, I think, tomorrow. Yeah, I get confused when it is every year. So, yeah, hopefully I'm able to get this mulberry bush over there. I'm going to put that in the ground today. And then I got to dig a huge hole because all I got is this little bit of spot right here. In the back is the walkway. Here's the walkway that goes up, and then it goes to the left. And right here looked like it would be a big spot. I got to pull the black eyed Susans out, put them somewhere else. Got a little mint plant. Got to move that. And I got these two Shasta daisies. They're kind of in the way. So really I don't got that much. Yeah, the wind's starting crazy. So I don't really got that much room. Don't really got that much room to put the other one in here because, as you could tell, these bushes are big. That was a normal size one. This is one of the big ones that I just bought. So that big thing got to go right here. And I got other plants down here, so it's got a little bit of spot. Hopefully it goes well. See my strawberry bushes that I planted 2 weeks ago, looking good. I keep pinching them flowers off because I don't really want it's still producing strawberries like all the time, but I don't want the strawberries. I want them roots to get established. Didn't even bother spreading them. Took them right out the hanging basket because there was a donation from someone here that was just going to throw them away. So I said we'll just throw them in the ground up here in the garden. That way they'll reproduce and we'll have some more with the runners. And next year we'll have strawberries. So that's about it. Oh, one of my pretty flowers came up here. Nice. I don't know if we're going to get much more of this because it's getting cold, and I don't know. My dang marigolds are still hanging in there. Got a fun stuff. Oh, I love this plant up here with all the red. I just planted that up there. I took it from one part to another. But I got a funny story. I got these, I think they were petunias in a basket, a hanging basket. They're basically going to be thrown out, so they were like on discounted for like $1 or something. at that. Forgot my shears there last night and nobody stole them. That's awesome. If you don't know, I live in an apartment complex, so Margaret's garden is on borrowed land, but it works. But so I picked up these petunias for like $1 or something. It came with a hanging basket. I wanted the hanging basket, and you know, hanging baskets probably cost like $8 with nothing in them. So I needed the hanging basket. So I got this petunias or whatever they're called. I don't even know. These red flowers back here. It must have been like 2 months ago. They were all scraggly looking, and you know, it was from like TSC or one of those places. It was going to be heading to the scrap if no one bought it, type of a deal. And the cold weather kind of killed it back. But I just stuck it back there like a couple months ago. I barely give it like any attention, and it just keeps producing. I put one of those white little flowers in the middle. I think it's a begonia. Stuck that in the middle. Matter of fact, I actually got that for July 4th. So I got that probably 2 weeks before July 4th, and I made like a little barrel, a July 4th thing out of it. It had red, white, and blue because it had blue flowers in it, but they'd gone a long time ago. But yeah, this thing spreads. It's down here. I mean, it's the plant that refuses to die. It just keeps going. Like I said, it was one of those ones that was like going to be thrown out. I could have up potted it some more. I put it into one up pot in the beginning because I needed that hanging basket. So I just tell you all the fun stories that I always have about my garden here. I started the memorial garden early in the year because, unfortunately, knowing that my mom had ALS, one of the good things about knowing what a diagnosis is knowing that you have a little bit of time to prepare for things. So we was able to process this over the last 2 years. You know, with my mom, it was very sad. But we knew, you know, that what was going to be happening pretty much every step of the way. My sister was talking to the ALS people, and, you know, it doesn't take much to look online to know that eventually she was going to have some problems with walking. You know, it started out with talking. A couple Thanksgivings ago, we was at my sister's house, Thanksgiving dinner, and that was the first I knew anything about it because my mom told me she was just having trouble talking lately. And it turned into, you know, my sister, she was taken her to doctors, and, you know, we were just trying to figure out what was going on, and everyone had an idea what it might be, but no one said ALS at first. They were talking about, you know, some other things, and we were hoping it was some other things, but, you know, before we knew it, you know, we got the official diagnosis. Got a nice little helicopter coming over while we're talking, so that'll make a little bit of noise. But yeah, we got that official diagnosis, and yeah, it was sad. She had the type that started up top, one of the rare versions that unfortunately you only have like a 6-month to 2-year lifespan after you get that diagnosis. And yeah, it was one of them things where we found out, you know, maybe a year and a half ago. You know, she started showing symptoms 2 years ago, but I think we officially found out maybe a year and a half ago. And she fought. You know, she's a fighter. So, you know, just to tell you some of the stories about this garden, I kind of feel like tying it in. Some of these plants here know that my mom was a fighter because that's how they are. This thing, this thing had a termination date mid-July, I think, and it was heading towards the dump if it didn't sell. And I picked it up for $1 or $2 and just put it in the back, and there it stands. I mean, it's freezing out here, you know, but that thing just keeps doing what it does. The flowers are looking a little bad today. These these are those morning glories of my mom's. I actually found out the name of them today because I seen a packet in the store, and wouldn't you know it, I had no idea at the time what I picked out. I just picked out morning glories, and on the packet I realized today they were called morning blue. No, they were morning glories, but they are heavenly blue, I believe. Blue heaven? I'd have to look. But I know it has the word heaven in it and the word blue in it. Yeah, so that was just a kind of interesting thing that was one of the things that I chose to be in the garden. This little piece here, it was actually heading to the dumpster. This black piece, I don't know if it was a part of someone's chair or, yeah, it was like a lawn chair or something. Someone was throwing it in the dumpster, and I'm like, man, that would make a good, lattice or whatever they call them things that, plants climb on. And it was made of some sturdy steel. So I put it in there because kids are kids and they like to play on this wall sometimes, and it's a very high wall. And we're very nervous when they do that because they go all the way around, and we try to keep them off this when we can because it's very dangerous. So I added that one there, and I added one here, so in case everyone wonders why there's this crazy stuff that looks out of place in my garden, I do use them for things to climb. And I put another one up here, that way they wouldn't be able to get too high if they did get up there. So yeah, this was actually where my cucumbers were at. I took them down a couple weeks ago. Interestingly enough, I don't like the bare soil over the fall here. I don't want my soil to be bare, so I started planting some buckwheat. I don't know how it's going to turn out, to be honest with you. I just know that it's one of them things that I'm going to plant and see how it looks. I put it on this side of the fence because if I put it out in the main part of the garden, it's going to bring the deer down. The deer is going to want to eat that up. And then notice I got some other things that they might find interesting. I've been able to keep the deer at bay because I planted all kinds of basil and marigolds and you name it, anything that had a smell to it that the deer wouldn't find attractive. So I put a lot of barriers up there, which actually worked because there's deer all over this place at night. They're everywhere, but they have not come down here to the main part of the garden that does not have a fence. So I keep all the stuff over here that the deer might find interesting. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this up. Sorry I went so long. I was just wanted to have an introductory video because I have decided that I'm going to have a Facebook page, and I'm going to dedicate it to my mom, and it's going to be called Margaret's Garden. And that way anyone that's into gardening or knows my mom, they could join, and we can have discussions about keeping my mom's memory alive by talking about different plants and things that we got going on with the garden and what she meant to a lot of people. Yeah, I'm literally right by the dumpster with my garden, so I get people visiting me like when I'm out here, like all the time. I'm not going to show the dumpster because it's normally pretty dirty. It's one of them things where it's a community dumpster here. So some people throw the stuff in the right places, some people pile it to the side, and at night the animals love coming out here, so that's why it makes a challenge of what I put out here. I got a compost bin right here. I got to cover it up, I got to do stuff with it because I put food in it that I throw away in order to have nice mulch and different soil, because the clay, I mix up the clay here with some of the stuff that I got when I'm throwing out, like the cucumbers, all kind of vegetable stuff that you cut the skins off and you're like, oh, matter of fact, it's 2 pineapples in there because some people got some pineapples this week that went bad. So they brought them over to me and I put them in my mulch pit here. But yeah, the door, this thing comes loose from where it's supposed to be, and it swings back and forth like really hard. And when the wind blows, and it makes a lot of noise. So sometimes when I'm making video, you might hear a really loud sound in the background, and that's what that's from. But I just wanted to let everyone know I was so excited about getting here and digging this hole, and I'm looking up and it's starting to stop raining. So yeah, it's literally like 45 degrees out here, and I'm freezing and getting rained on. But that's how dedicated I am to getting this done, because I had some free time. I got home early today, and this was what I planned to do, is get that mum in here. So hopefully I do get it in here. It's gonna look awesome, I think, because it'll be these 2 right here and the one little one in the background. Kind of excited to see how that turns out. I'm still surprised that so much of this is still hanging in here. Okay, tomatoes are still doing okay up there. You know, I picked them over. I actually got little roses that really want to put another set of, they really want these flowers to come out again, but the weather has not been cooperating. It went from really warm and no rain to very cold and rain. These ones are ready to, they're ready to sprout, they're ready to bloom. They want to be popping. So, you know, if we get a little bit more warm, I don't think they're going to want to come out in this windy rain we got going on here. It's windy and cold. This is some of the fun stuff that I grow. That's my oregano. Comes back every year. It's more oregano. Bunch of green peppers. Yeah, none of the critters that pass this to go to the dumpster, oh, they make a mess, let me tell you what. But they haven't touched any of my stuff that I have up here. And once again, I think it's because I put basil and marigolds, and you can't see it now, but their feet tracks are all up here. And it's hilarious because it looks like teenagers are coming here every night. I threw these down today because when you get up here, you'll start to see them litter. There is litter all over the place. There's a trail of it. You could tell. They grab the stuff and they bring it up here and they have a party. They literally have a party up here. Check it out. You can tell which path they use. They like leave a trail for their friends to be like, this is the way, man, just follow the trash. All right, it's freezing. I'm gonna put some gloves on and hopefully get to work here.